Good afternoon. My name is Ms. Chambalammu. I'm from Medical Surgical Nursing Department, and today I'll be dealing about the bronchitis. So, bronchitis, we'll see the introduction first. It is a condition where the lining of the bronchial tubes become inflamed or infected. It have reduced ability to breathe in air and oxygen into the lungs. They have also heavy mucus forming in the airways. So once the infection enters into the bronchial tubes, this is a healthy bronchial tubes, and this is a inflammations. Once the inflammations happens in the bronchial tubes, so it makes the person to breathe breathing difficulty, and bronchial airway will get constricted, as well as there will be no proper inhalation of oxygen and no proper expirations of carbon dioxide because of the presence of more amount of mucus secretions in the bronchial airways. And we'll see the normal mechanisms of inflammations. Infections enter into the body, which leads to chemical release from WBC are released into the blood or affected tissue to protect your body from foreign substances. These release of chemicals increases the blood flow to the area of injury or infection, may result in redness and warmth. Some of the chemicals cause a leak of fluid into the tissues, resulting in swelling, which leads to this protective process may stimulate nerves and cause pain. So once the infection will enters into our body, it may be microorganisms, either bacterial or viral infections. So this infections enters into our body. So what WBC does is they will release some chemicals which are released into either into the blood or affected tissues. Why WBC function is to protect our body from the infections. So WBC will try to protect from the foreign substances in our body, and which may result. So once the infections will spread all over the body, and WBC will not be able to protect those infections, fight against those infections, then what will happen is it will show a sign and symptoms like redness, or else sometimes leakage of fluid may happen in some tissues. Because of fluid leakage, that area will become swollen, and so that protective process that will stimulate the nerves, and patient will start feeling a pain. So we'll see the definitions of bronchitis. It is an inflammation and swelling of the bronchial tubes, the air passage between the lungs. So the word itis means always it is a inflammation or either infections. So where the inflammation comes in the bronchial tubes. See, if we go back to the normal bronchial tubes, we can see we can differentiate between the healthy bronchus and the inflamed one. So here what will happen is these bronchial tubes will get constricted and narrowed because of the infections. So we'll see the types of bronchitis. There are two types of bronchitis, acute bronchitis and chronic bronchitis. So acute is what sudden onset. Within a short durations of time, the patient will get infections. And chronic bronchitis is, chronic means it will remains for a longer period of time. It is a shorter illness that commonly follow a cold or viral infection such as flu. It consists of a cough with mucus, chest discomfort, throat soreness, fever, shortness of breath. It is usually last a few days or weeks, 1 to 3 weeks. So this acute bronchitis is what? It is where the person will get, normally in the winter season, the person will get cold or flu. That is because of the viral infections. So because of those infections, because of the viral infections, so the patient may show signs and symptoms like while coughing, the mucus may appears also. And the patient, because of the more amount of secretions are present in the chest, in the lungs, the patient will feel discomfort, chest discomfort, or else the patient start feeling chest tightness. And because of to excessive secretions, when the patient try to remove those secretions, and that will irritates the airways. And because of that also, sore throat may also appears. And infections, definitely because of the infections, the patient may have chances of getting fever. And the main sign and symptoms we'll see is definitely once the patient get cold or flu, that will block the nose of the patient, and that makes the patient to breathe difficulty. So you will see a sign and symptoms like dyspnea, shortness of breath. And because of shortness of breath, tachypnea may chances of happening. So the patient will be eager to breathe faster. So that time the rate and rhythm of the respiration may also increase. And this acute bronchitis that will remain at least for the 1 to 3 weeks. And chronic bronchitis, it is a serious ongoing illness. It is a persistent mucus producing cough that lasts longer than 3 months. The person is having severe breathing difficulties. It may get worsened. It occurs with emphysema, and it may become COPD. So how chronic bronchitis occurs, repeated episodes of, if the patient is having acute bronchitis. So because of the repeated episodes of acute bronchitis, the patient may have chance of getting, it might lead it to the chronic bronchitis. So that time you will see us, the patient will have a thick mucus secretions with a cough also that will remain for more than 3 months. And here the breathing difficulty is more severe than the acute bronchitis, and it may become worse also. Sometimes chronic bronchitis may occur with the emphysema. So emphysema is nothing but here the alveoli will get damaged. So along with chronic bronchitis, the patient may lead to the emphysema. So that will become COPD, chronic obstructive pulmonary disease. So in the acute bronchitis, this is a normal bronchial tubes where in the acute bronchitis, when the patient is inflamed, because you can see in the bronchial tubes, this will become narrowed, as well as mucus secretions, fluid leakage also will be there. Thick mucus, oral pus formation will be present in the mucus secretions will be present in the bronchial tubes. In the chronic bronchitis, this airway will get constricted, and because of more secretions, when the patient try to remove secretions from their lungs, that time that will irritates the airways, and more mucus secretions are present, and that will also damage the cilia, which will that is a hair-like structure which will protect from the dust. So that will also damage the cilia. And moving to the etiological factors, acute bronchitis, it is caused by viruses, the same virus that cause cold and flu. It can be caused by bacterial infections and exposure to substance that irritate the lungs, such as tobacco, smoking, dust, fumes, vapors, and air pollutions. So in the acute bronchitis, if the patient gets cold or common cold or flu, so that is because of the main causes, because of the viral infection. And there are other causes rather than viral infections, is because of the bacterial infections like staphylococcus, streptococcus, E. coli. So many bacterial infections are present, and others like that will, the substance that will irritates the lungs. So it depends on the patient occupational occupations. So if the patient is working in some industrial, cotton textile industrial area, so what will happen is, consuming every day, the patient will inhale those dust that will irritates the lungs, and chances of having acute bronchitis. And chronic bronchitis, it is caused by repeated irritation and damage of the lungs and airway tissues. Smoking is most common cause, with other causes including long-term exposure to air pollution, dust and fumes from the environment, and repeated episodes of acute bronchitis. So the main cause for the chronic bronchitis is, once the patient will suffer from acute bronchitis, that also constantly, repeatedly, if the patient have a acute bronchitis, if it is not treated well, so that might lead to the chronic bronchitis, and that will damage the airway tissues, and that will damage the completely lungs also. And the main reason for this is because of the smoking. That smoking will that will that will destroy the alveoli and that will damage the lungs. And other etiological factors like bacterial infections and viral infections and predisposing factors like smoking, long-term illness, immune deficiencies, and immobilizations, and precipitating factors like hospitalization, environment, smoking, and malnutrition. And we'll see the pathophysiology due to etiological factors, which leads to microorganisms enter into the respiratory tract by inhalations, which leads to widespread inhalation, inflammation occurs. Thin mucous lining of the bronchi can become irritated and swollen. Cell that makes up this lining may leak fluid in response to the inflammation, which leads to coughing as a reflex that works to clear secretions from the lungs. Alveolar fluid response, narrowing of the airway, which leads to ventilation decrease as the secretion thickens, which leads to mucus within the airway produces resistance in small airways and can cause severe ventilation perfusion imbalance that leads to bronchitis. So we know so far we have discussed about the etiological factors. So in the etiological factors, we have seen like it may be either it may be because of the viral infections or else it may be because of the bacterial infections and some other causes. So once the bacteria will enters into the body, that is in the respiratory tract through inhalations by inhalation. So this bacteria will spread, this inflammation will spread to the lungs. So what will happen is that bronchial tubes, that thin mucous lining of the bronchi, that will become irritated and that will become swollen because of the inflammations. And from that, this mucous lining, once the bronchi mucous lining will get infected and swollen, from there the fluid will start leakaging. And so in our body, coughing reflexes, so what they will do is they will remove secretions from the lungs. Because of that also, what will happen is, so alveoli fluid will start getting responses, and that time airway will get constricted, airway will become narrowed. And why airway will become narrowed? Because of the inflammations, because of more amount of secretions are present. And that time there will be no proper ventilations, and ventilation will also decrease where the mucus secretions will become thick. So that time perfusions, ventilation, the severe ventilation perfusion will become imbalanced, and that leads to the bronchitis. So we'll see the clinical manifestation, sign and symptoms for acute and chronic bronchitis. The patient will have a persistent cough and production of mucus, which can be clear, white, yellowish, gray, or green in color. Rarely it may be streaked with blood. So the patient will have more secretions. That time sometimes it may appears in the whitish color or else yellowish, gray or green color in a severe condition. And in more severe conditions, sometimes blood may occur with the mucus secretions. And crackles and wheezing sound. Because of the infections, the patient will have a fever, chills, and headache. And chest tightening happens because of the more secretions are present in the lungs. And sometimes chest discomfort may also happen. And the patient will have because of the irritations in the airways. So the patient will have a sign and symptoms like sore throat and difficulty in breathing, blocked nose, and sinusitis. Diagnostic evaluation, physical examination, thorough history about the patients, and if the patient is suffering, have a history of emphysema. So history should be collected, thorough history will be taken from the patient. And while doing physical examination, we will hear the patient with the wheezing sound, ronky sound, and crackle sounds. And chest X-ray, in chest X-ray, we will examine that if the patient has infections in the bronchi or infection has spread to the lungs, so that area appears as a white. So by doing chest X-ray, we will come to know. And sputum for culture and sensitivity test, because in that we will come to know if it is because of the bacterial infection. So which bacteria causes bronchitis. So it will be easy for the physician to give a proper antibiotics to the patient. And the physician will also advise for the spirometry test. So spirometry test, this test that will measures how much the patient can breathe in and out from the lungs. That means how much the patient they can breathe in and out from the lungs. So as well as they will see how easily and how fast they can blow the air out from the lungs. So by doing the spirometry test, if the patient, the physician will also come to know if the patient has a wheezing sound or a shortness of breath, or the patient is having cough. And they will do the ABG analysis, arterial blood gases. Okay, so by doing this, they will see the pH level as well as they will see how much amount of oxygen and carbon dioxide are present in the blood. So moving to the management, people with bronchitis are instructed to rest, drink fluid, breathe warm and moist air, cough suppressant and pain relief in order to manage symptoms and ease the breathing. So with a bronchitis patient, we have to tell the patient to take rest and drink plenty of fluids. And if the patient is having cold, they can use a humidifier and moist and keep them warm, and use a cough suppressants to relieve from the if the patient is having decongest, they can use a cough suppressants to relieve from the secretions also. And if the patient is having chest discomfort, they can use a pain relief. And antibiotics like azithromycin for 500 mg for at least for 7 to 10 days, and antitussive drugs to suppress the cough, and bronchodilators, that is to dilate the bronchi, because airway will get constricted. So we have seen the bronchial tubes will constricted and narrowed because of the infection. So to dilate that bronchial tubes, they will give a bronchodilators to the patients like theophylline, teriflunin. And also they, along with that, they can give a nebulization to the patient, like mucolytics or some salbutamol, terbutaline drugs to the patient in the nebulizations. Anticholinergic drugs like ipratropium bromide and methylxanthines like theophylline, and mucolytics because of the thick secretions are present. So to make it thinner, they will give a mucolytics drugs to the patient, acetylcysteines, and steroids to relieve from the inflammations like dexamethasone, methylprednisolone, and antipyretics like Dolo 600 mg. If the patient is having fever, that time we can give a antipyretics drugs to the patient. And others like oxygen therapy, because the patient will have a difficulty in breathing. So to supplement that, they will give a oxygen therapy to the patient. Pulmonary rehabilitation program, chest physiotherapy to relieve from the secretions, as well as they will give a nutritional therapy to the patient. And additional behavior remedies include removing the source of irritants from the lungs, use humidifiers. They can advise for the deep breathing exercises. And if the bronchitis is not treated, so it might lead to pneumonia, asthma, and COPD. Nursing diagnosis: ineffective airway clearance related to thick mucus discharge as evidenced by presence of bronchi, cough, and tachypnea. So our goal is to improve the airway clearance. Place the patient laterally and recumbent to position to help maintain an open airway and drain the secretions. Provide oxygen to decrease her labor breathing. Observe the oxygen therapy delivery system every hourly to clear the thick mucus. Use humidifier and suctioning, and use cough medicine. Impaired respiratory functioning related to ineffective breathing pattern as evidenced by increased respiratory rate. So goal is to improve the respiratory function. Always stay with the patient to reduce the anxiety, to give instruction regarding the pursed lip and diaphragmatic breathing to exercises to assist with slowing respiratory rate. To provide water to drink, help in loosen the secretions and lessen the dryness in mucous membrane. To provide oxygen therapy, and to provide suctioning if the patient has a secretions. And acute pain related to inflammation, cough as evidenced by report of discomfort and facial expressions. Our main aim is to relieve the pain of the patient. First thing is we can assess the level of pain by using pain scale and intensity and localized where the patient is having the pain. And we can give a diversional therapy to the patient and extra pillow to chest while patient coughing, and monitor the vital signs for respiratory suppression associated with pain medications. And we can give and we can administer acetaminophen medication to relieve the pain from the patient. Thank you.